up, people? It's your boy H Money with another episode of Second Take. Before I get into what they talked about on First Take today, I just want to talk about the weekend of boxing that we had. I'm a big boxing fan, as you should know from my other videos. We had the big fight with Matthysse and Provodnikov. It had a potential, at least I thought, to be fight of the year. And, I expected a lot of fireworks. We got some fireworks, but it didn't quite live up to the explosive fight I thought it would be, but still great. I mean, both of them, looked good. Matthysse is a huge puncher. Provodnikov, after the fight, said that Matthysse was the hardest puncher he had ever faced. And he won the fight. It was close. One judge had it a draw. I think Matthysse did enough, but God, Provodnikov, they call him the Siberian Rocky for a reason. This dude has a better chin than Rocky Balboa did in the movies because Rocky went down. Provodnikov, you cannot you cannot knock him down. This dude is a tank. Matthysse hit him with bomb after bomb, and eventually you can see it wear down. I mean, what that must do to a boxer like Matthysse, where Provodnikov's easy to hit. You know you're a big puncher. You're hitting him with punches that any other fighter at that weight class in the world would have got knocked out in round one. So you got to think he's easy to hit and I'm a big puncher. Do I keep going for the knockout? Because if I can't put him down, I run the risk of punching myself out and then he might get me, which almost happened. Provodnikov started coming on. I mean, after taking a beating for most of the fight, he came on and almost got to Matthysse a couple of times. I mean, dude has a huge chin. If he had some elite boxing skill to go with that chin, we might be talking about Provodnikov fighting on May 2nd. We might be talking about him pound for pound. That's just how good that chin is. I would love to see a Provodnikov-Pacquiao fight because if there ever was a guy that's built for an exciting fight with Pacquiao, it's Provodnikov because he's going to be there. He's easy to hit. He's going to come forward, and you can't hurt him. So, would that speed of Pacquiao with the power get to be too much Provodnikov? Or what would happen? Because we saw against Brandon Rios, Pacquiao couldn't hurt him. He was hitting him a lot, but he never went for that knockout because you knew how tough a guy Rios was. So you didn't want to punch yourself out going for the knockout against a guy with a great chin. And that's what we should have with Provodnikov. But see, Rios, I don't think he's as skilled as Provodnikov, and he doesn't nowhere near put that kind of pressure. When Provodnikov decides he wants to come after you, that dude will charge, and so it would be interesting. That would be an exciting fight. I think that would actually be more exciting than Pacquiao Mayweather to see Pacquiao Provodnikov. The other fight we had was Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. against Fanfara. It was his first fight at light heavyweight, and it was embarrassing, man. I mean, he needs to quit, because I liked Jr. when he first started boxing because, he was a relentless body puncher, and that's something that's rare sometimes in boxing, and it was nice to see a guy just commit to the body attack the way Junior did. But he's fighting at light heavyweight because he's too lazy. He's not committed at all to the sport, so he's too lazy to make his own natural weight, which is 160. So he has no business. So this is not a case of a guy just naturally aging and putting on a little bit more weight. This is just a guy that just doesn't have the desire to make his natural weight. So he's in against a bigger guy. His father didn't want him to take the fight because not only are you moving up to a bigger weight with naturally bigger guys, which Fanfara is a skilled boxer. And his dad knew he was going to give his son trouble. But Junior, this was his longest layoff. He was off 13 months. And you can tell he likes fighting, but he doesn't love the sport. And they talked about there's a lot of drama that went on growing up between him and his dad. They talked about before the fight how his dad used to pay kids in the street to fight Junior, and Junior talked about him being always drunk and all this and that. So there's a lot of issues there, and you can see it weighs on this kid, and he's not committed to the sport. And I just wish he would go ahead and quit, especially after this one. It was just an ugly performance. He thought there was no jab whatsoever. I've never seen a fighter in a boxing match completely abandon the jab the way he did. Sometimes you don't see guys jab because they're just in a counter-punching stance and they're not aggressive at all. He was coming forward, but instead of trying to jab his way in, he just kept sticking his head out and leading with his head. Because what he hoped to do was to stick his head in Fanfara's chest and hopefully he would stand straight up so that Junior could wing those heavy body punches and try and chop him down. And we saw some of that, but he couldn't hurt him because this dude was a natural light heavyweight. So his punches weren't having the effect that he would have had at his normal weight. And it was just embarrassing. And then he complained to the ref the whole time. If you're sticking your head out there and the other guy starts pushing you down, it's because you're putting your head there, So why complain? But he complained to the ref the whole time. And he finally got knocked down. And then he quit. They said that it was a ref's decision after he talked to the corner. No, that Junior quit, man. He doesn't want to be in boxing because he's not committed to it. And I think he should just go away because his heart's not in it. And that was just an embarrassing fight. For him to be talking about a rematch, please, come on, Junior. If you're not going to go back down to natural heavyweight, you need to quit boxing. Okay, now, first take today. They had some excerpts from the upcoming interview between Stephen A. and Floyd Mayweather. And I didn't like him. I'm a Floyd Mayweather fan, as you all know. That's my boy. But I can't say. I have to say I did not agree with how disrespectful he was to the GOAT, to Mr. Muhammad Ali. I'm cutting off the king's face there. I can't, gotta see my man. All right, he was so disrespectful to him. Look, Floyd, we know he's got that ego. We know he's cocky, he's arrogant. And I have no problem with if he truly feels in his heart of hearts that he's a better boxer than Muhammad Ali. I have no problem with that level of confidence, but you should say it with respect and reverence because you're talking about greatness. Okay? But what he does, he gets overly sensitive and defensive when people compare him to anybody. Because like if he admits any comparison is diminishing his greatness in some way. Like, no, we're talking about two greats. You are in the conversation of greatest of all time. But, you have to, if people want to compare, you have to be able to take their opinions and be respectful about it because everybody's entitled to their opinion. And he didn't just say, hey, I think I'm a better boxer. He went on to just really criticize him. He said, how can you talk so great about a guy who only fought in one weight class? Floyd, he was a heavyweight, man. There's nowhere else to go, okay? If he gains 40 pounds, he's still a heavyweight. And you're not a natural heavyweight. You don't decide, hey, I want to go fight at middleweight and lose 40 pounds. You don't do that, okay? So that's just absurd to even bring that up. And then they want to start criticizing, most notably the Foreman fight, I think he was talking about when he said, we're going to heap greatness on a guy that's going to lay on the ropes and let a guy punch him out and then decide to hit him with a couple of shots and take him out. Okay, you really just diminished how that fight went. But yes, the way he fought Foreman was great in his Floyd Mayweather. Foreman was a beast. Everybody thought he was going to literally kill Ali. To sit there and be able, that was strategy, to endure that type of mental and physical pressure and pain that he had to by sitting on the ropes and let Foreman punch him out. That took huge courage, okay? And there was strategy in it, okay? And then you still got to be a great boxer to go take the big man out. So, yeah, he's great. And look, yeah, you want to look at Ali, and he wasn't always great. He had some bad fights. And, Floyd can point and say, hey, I'm undefeated. I never lost. Muhammad Ali lost. But you want to look at, it's not Floyd's fault when we start comparing opponents. Floyd just hasn't had those type of guys available to him. The De La Hoyas, Cotto, now Pacquiao, Canelo. That's the best out there that he can fight. He didn't have the great guys. It was just a great era of boxing for Ali to have the Foremans, the Fraziers, the Listons, the Ken Nortons. So he really was able to make those super fights because it was such a great era. So that I kind of have to defend Floyd when you have that type of comparison. But when you look at the big body of work, okay, Muhammad Ali is not just the greatest of all time for what he did in the boxing ring. Muhammad Ali transcended the sport. There's so much. And if anybody should respect and give reverence to Muhammad Ali, it's Floyd, because Ali paved the way for somebody like Floyd, for a brash, arrogant, young black man to be able to take the world by storm and be successful. He was the first. Muhammad Ali was the innovator. And Muhammad Ali did it and still endeared himself to white America at a time where that was hard for a black man. Trust. So, he was very disrespectful. I don't agree with him. Later on, they went to talk about as far as racism. And Floyd was kind of offended when Stephen A. was talking about what Muhammad Ali had to go through compared to what Floyd. And Floyd was like, you think Floyd Mayweather don't go through racism and have hard times? And Floyd, yes, we know, okay? You're a young black man making all this money, and we know you have experienced racism in the sport, okay? We know you've had a lot of hatred. A lot of it you bring on yourself, but, it's because you're a marketing genius. You do that with a purpose, but you can't get mad when you put yourself out there for people hating on you. So, and you went to jail for 2 months, okay? But by your own, you put yourself there. So for you to try and oh my God, dude, look, Muhammad Ali, what he went through in the era that he did it in, okay? To to say no, to say ain't no Viet Cong ever called me no N-word. I ain't got no beef with those people. To stand up in an era where if you don't go, you're going to be called a traitor. You're already hated because you're black. Then you change your name to Muhammad Ali because you convert to Islam. So now you're hated on for that. But to have the courage to stand up, and then you're facing, we're not talking about 2 months in prison, Floyd. He was facing a lot of years in prison. He gave up 3 years of his prime, his boxing prime, to fight this, and took it all the way to the Supreme Court. Okay, this was political, it was huge, it was personal. I mean, for him to take this stand, what has Floyd ever done? Politically active, socially active at all? Please, you're about your money and you're about being great in boxing, and I can admire that for what it is, but do not try to compare yourself to this. And oh my God, you had to go to prison for 2 months and some people, don't like you, to what Muhammad Ali went through? Man, the one thing I will defend Floyd on this episode of First Take is I think they really put it out of context with the wording at the bottom of the screen when they were talking about it. It said that Floyd said that racism is more visible today than it was back when Ali fought. That's not what he was saying. When he said to Stephen A, he was basically alluding to social media and technology, that it's much easier for that racism and hate to find its way to an athlete today now. Because, back then, if you got, Mr. Joe Bob sitting on the couch, out there in the country in the sticks, and he just hates Muhammad Ali, and he wants to, that N-word this and that N-word that, he could say all that, but he had to say it from his couch, and Muhammad Ali was never going to hear him, right? But now, Joe Bob can get on the internet, he can make a YouTube video, and he can call Floyd Mayweather whatever N-word he wants to. He can get on that Twitter account, and he can just badmouth Mr. Mayweather all he wants. So that's what Floyd was alluding to, okay? Because, yes, it's much more, because anybody can just put that hate and racism right out in your face because of social media and technology. So that's what he was talking about, but still, look, Floyd, I hate to do it. I got 2 Ham Awards today. Y'all know I give a Ham Award out. And as much as I hate to, Floyd, I have to give you the Ham Award. You're killing me, Smalls. Stop it. You cannot be so disrespectful to the greatest of all time. This man paved the way for you to be doing what you're doing. Do you have a right to think you're better than him as a boxer? Yes, by all means, but do it respectfully, Floyd. Okay? Greatness deserves respect. All right. Okay, now let's get to the NBA playoffs. Everything is going pretty much as we expect. Of course, we got LeBron James and the weak East and the Cavaliers rolling over the Celtics, who nobody in Boston, in that organization, envisioned them even being in the playoffs. They were rebuilding, okay? They were just hoping to be in the lottery and get some draft picks, and they're in rebuilding phase, but here they are in a weak Eastern Conference, and they're playing the Cavaliers. So the Cavaliers got a cakewalk through this first round, and I hate it. I just wish we could reverse time and throw LeBron and the Heat, or LeBron now and the Cavs, into that Western Conference and see how LeBron does going through the Western Conference in the playoff year. But okay, that's just me and my hate for LeBron. Let me stay on point, though. I got to get to my San Antonio Spurs, and I said I had 2 Ham Awards today. And as much as I'm a diehard Spurs fan, I have to give the Ham Award. San Antonio, you're killing me, Smalls. I cannot believe y'all gave up the number 2 seed again in the last game. All you had to do was win the last game against the Pelicans, and you've got the number 2 seed, and you're playing home court right now. But right now you're in LA, and you caught a beat down by a young, hungry, athletic team, and the Spurs are in trouble. They're not healthy. Thiago and Tony don't look right. Danny Green is in a huge slump. And this just has that feel of, back in the day when Isaiah in Detroit finally got over the hump past Larry and the Celtics, or Michael and the Bulls finally got past over that hump with Isaiah in Detroit. And it just, look, the Spurs have dominated the Clippers regular season and playoffs over the years, and it just has that feel that this young core of the Clippers has finally had enough, and they're ready to do this. And I mean, they look good last night in all facets of the game, man. And I wish Pop would stop this Hacker Shack stuff, or we call it Hacker Jordan now. I understand. Look, Pop is a great coach, and I understand that it's part of the game. It's allowed in the rules or whatever, and it can be strategic. But because look, if you got a foul at the end of the game, you want to foul the worst free throw shooter, but I think they need to build in a rule to where you can't do this. Just play straight up, man. Play basketball. Don't start, you don't just hacking people because they're bad free throw shooters. It takes away from the flow of the game. And as much as I love Pop, I wish he would stop doing that. So, yes, my Spurs have me upset right now. I'm still ride or die with them. I still think if anybody can come out and go on the road and come out the West, it can be the Spurs. But they look like they're in some trouble. The Clippers are balling. What else? Tim Tebow! He's back in the NFL, okay? And I wish him all the luck, man. I hope he has success. And if there's any way he can have success, it's in Chip Kelly's system. I agreed with Skip back in the day. I thought that Tim could be a viable winning starter in the NFL. He just brings so many intangibles and that winning leadership, that it factor. I mean, yeah, he needs to develop the skills, and he's been working with Tom Brady's quarterback coach, and hopefully, that's helped him develop. He says he's seen a lot of improvement, so it'd be nice to see Tim Tebow get another chance. You got to admire the guy for where other players have come out and been told out of college that, hey, you're not going to be an NFL quarterback, and they change positions, they go play wide receiver or whatever. Tim Tebow is committed. I'm going to do this as a QB, or I'm not going to do this at all. And I wish him all the luck, man. I hope he can come and prove guys like Stephen A. wrong, and it would be cool to see him actually elevate to that starting position and to see him have some success with Demo in that backfield and Ryan Matthysse. That could be a serious running attack. Okay. What else? Just they ended the show. Look, this world can be so oversensitive with these athletes sometimes. And Skip Bayless, God, sometimes, man, he gets so serious about little things. Tony Romo was on the Country Music Awards and he made a joke about Deflategate. So Skip is, this is so out of bounds because, the Patriots won a Super Bowl and Tony's only won 2 playoff games. And look, man, this is a country music show. Everybody and their mama has made a joke about the Patriots and Deflategate. So Tony Romo can't make a joke. You can't have a sense of humor. It's for an award show. The producer said, hey, this would go over well. It wasn't Tony Romo's idea. So you're just going along with it. And, I mean, it's lighthearted and it's just a joke. Quit being so sensitive, man. If Tom Brady made it, nobody would say anything. Whoever he joked about. Tom Brady could make a joke about Gandhi, okay? And it wouldn't, Tom Brady, Mr. Choir Boy, he's so great, it's so funny, ha ha ha. But look, everybody loves to hate Tony Romo, they love to hate on the Cowboys, so please. And then Skip, you gonna turn on Tony like that over just a joke? Please quit being so sensitive, world. Let it go. I think that's all I'm gonna talk about today. It really hurt me to give the Ham Award to Floyd Mayweather, to my Spurs. But they both deserve it. The Spurs had their destiny in their hands. Could have had home court advantage until the conference finals. And they're paying for it right now. Last night they definitely paid for it. They're in a hole. See if they can come out of it. And Floyd, look, in my mind, I'm a huge fan. Money made, as a boxing persona goes. Love you, man. Huge fan. But you got to get some reverence, man. You got to respect the past. You got to respect the greats. You have to be respectful when you talk about someone like Muhammad Ali, man. Nobody is discrediting your accomplishments. Nobody's diminishing your greatness just by saying Muhammad Ali is great or greater. Nobody is. You're still great, Floyd. Quit being so sensitive. Quit being so defensive. And respect greatness. Just like you want people to respect your greatness, you need to show respect for other greatness. You got to find that inside yourself, Floyd, because that was just, as a fan, you're losing. Your fans are turning on you now. I'm turning on you because you're out here disrespecting Muhammad Ali, okay? But look, still, you're going to beat Pacquiao, give him a boxing lesson. I'm all for you in the ring. Go do your thing, but yeah, you got to get some respect, Floyd. That's it. I'm going to let it go there. As always, God bless. Peace.